All right, get ready with me as I'm getting ready to go to an expat lunch today. All right, so I always start, I wash my face already. So next thing I always use is my Lancome toner. I've swear by Lancome for my face since I was like 18 years old. So good facial skincare is super important. So I always make sure that I take care of my face. Remember, ladies, it's across the forehead, down the nose, up the cheek. It's very important, and up on the neck. When I was 16, I had a Mary Kay birthday party. And if you remember Mary Kay, she always taught the 5 steps of beauty, which included, well, 5 steps of face care, which always included face wash, which we did, toner, lotion, foundation, and the 5th step was a face mask, which you could do like twice a week. I don't really do the face mask like I used to, but I probably should. But people always say I look younger than my age, so you know, my facial care routine is working. So yeah, so we're going to an expat lunch today, and I don't know how often they happen, but they're pretty good. It's funny because it's like in the middle of the week, like in the afternoon. So it's in the middle of the week in the afternoon. So typically like it's mainly older people, like retired, but you never know. We can meet some younger people. I think we have met younger people before at other ones. So you never know who you're gonna meet. It's worth it. All right, so we did our lotion, perfect. And then we're gonna do our concealer. So yeah, so I always use Lancome for my face. I've used Lancome since I was like 18 years old. When I was 18, I decided I wanted a grown-up makeup. So I went to Birdine's, if you know what Birdine's is, for you Florida peeps. Birdine's was called the Florida store. It was a department store. It was bought out by Macy's. So yeah, so now it's Macy's, but basically it was a Macy's. So I decided I wanted grown-up makeup, and I was like, what makeup line am I gonna go with? And I was looking around, and I saw Clinique, and I knew like my other friends used Clinique, and I didn't want to be like them. So no offense to Clinique, nothing personal. So I ended up at Lancome, and I'm glad I did, because I feel like Lancome really stayed the test of time. I might have to get a new foundation soon. I think all this walking outside, I think my foundation is starting to be lighter than my face. And I have a backup bottle, which isn't good. All right, and then I always use a powder. I like translucent powder because I feel like it just, you know, gives me a little glow. It like also like sets my foundation. I don't know, sometimes when I watch these other makeup videos, I feel like these girls do so much stuff, and I don't know how to do any of it, so I just keep it simple, right? Foundation, powder, eyeliner, mascara, and that's how I roll. So anyways, we're going to this expat lunch. It's supposed to be at this, like, place that's, I guess it's kind of like a food court, but like a fancy food court. So there's all types of different cuisines inside, so you can kind of choose. Gary and I went to a similar one here in Santa Ana where we live about 2 weeks ago, and we got Korean, and Gary said it was like really, really good. I had Korean also. I thought it was good, but I'm not an expert in Korean food, so it was good for what I had. I'm not used to Korean. I'm used to like Thai and Vietnamese, so I've only had Korean a handful of times. I enjoy it, but I just don't, I guess, know what my favorite dish is, if that makes sense. All right, what's next? All right, our eyeliner. So for eyes, I always use MAC. I love MAC so much. I was doing like liquid liner for a while, but I've switched to this pencil because I just find it a lot easier. And when I do the like paint pot with the pencil, I just feel like it stays on forever, which is a good thing depending on what you're doing. But if I'm just going off for the afternoon, then I'll just use a pencil and keep it simple. All right, eyeliner done. I love doing my waterline. I don't know why, I've always loved it. So actually, the woman who did my makeup for my wedding, I ran into her at Starbucks and she told me how much she loved my eyeliner and how black it was. And she was surprised to hear that it was MAC. So in case you want to know, this is Glide or Die by Color Excess Pencil. So that's that. So for mascara, I recently switched to Benefit Bad Gal Bang. This is just a little sample bottle because they were like on sale at Ulta. So I went with these, but I really like how this mascara looks. Like sometimes I do use Lancome. I still do use Lancome mascara. I use oh, I'd have to go back and look, but there's something to me about this Bad Gal Benefit that I really, really like. All right, so I have a little oopsie, I think, on the top of my eye right here, but if you have never used Lancome's Biol Facil, like makeup remover, amazing. I accidentally bought this big bottle by accident because you really should never, if you buy Lancome, you should never have to buy this because it is literally in every single free gift that they offer. And so like technically you should have enough free samples for life, but I accidentally bought it one day because I thought I was buying this, right? 2 blue bottles, and I ended up with this, but doesn't matter, it's okay. Now I have it, and I'll probably have it for eternity. As you can see, I've hardly used any of it, and I've had it for quite some time. All right, and last we got our eyebrows. So I am not an eyebrow expert. I don't claim to be. I razor my eyebrows, it's a little razor, and then I shape them with my pencil. Again, I love Benefit Precision My Brow Pencil. I got one in a sample pack one day and I used it, and I love, 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 love this pencil. And I do get compliments on my eyebrows a lot, which I'm always pleasantly surprised by since I don't think I'm perfect at doing eyebrows. And, you know, I gotta work on my eyebrow game. Remember, they are sisters, not twins. All right, eyebrows done. Not sure what you think. Let me know if you have any feedback on better ways to do my eyebrows. And then I bought this. I had points with Lancome, so I got this free like liquid eyeshadow. Just a little something. You know, I probably should have put it on before my eyeliner, but you know, something just to highlight my eyes a little better. And then, all right, and then I always end with a little blush. MAC is what I'm using. All right, and then just slap on some chapstick for now. I will put on lipstick later before we leave, but I like to moisturize my lips first before I put lipstick on. So it's usually the last thing I do. So when I'm done doing my makeup, I always put a chapstick on, just in case. But I have a couple different lipsticks. Red is my favorite lipstick. I have all shades of red, probably way too many, way more than I need for sure. So let me go figure out what to do with this mop I have on my head. Let's see. I washed my hair the other day, so I didn't wash it today. Got my highlights done a few months ago. I probably need an update, but I have to find somewhere in Costa Rica to do it. So do my hair. All right, so we're just about ready. Always need my lint roller because the super fun thing about having 2 cats is your clothes always have cat hair on them. So always have my lint roller on deck to make sure that I don't look like a furry animal, which is always nice. I always steam my shirt, habit I've had since I was younger. My best friend Roxanne always ironed her clothes, and so that's how I also got into the habit of ironing. And then I am nothing without my earrings. My earrings are my superpower. We'll go with some black hoops today. And then finally my Gucci Flora, which is my new perfume. Have a great day.